The $1 deal that changed government forever. Inside OpenAI's federal takeover opening hook and subscribe call. What if I told you that yesterday, August 6th, 2025, one phone call changed the future of American government forever? What if I told you that for the price of a single dollar, OpenAI just gained access to the most powerful workforce in the world, the entire United States federal government? Before we dive into this incredible story that's unfolding right now, I need you to hit that subscribe button. This channel exists to uncover the AI stories that mainstream media completely misses. While everyone's talking about consumer AI apps, we're going to expose the billion-dollar deals happening behind closed doors that will reshape society itself. Today's story is about the most audacious AI power grab in history, and you're about to understand exactly how it happened, why it matters, and what it means for the future of America. Chapter 1. The announcement that shocked Washington. August 6th, 2025, started like any other Tuesday in Washington, D.C. Federal employees across thousands of agencies were going about their routine work, processing patents, reviewing grant applications, analyzing tax returns. By the end of the day, everything had changed. At exactly 2:47 p.m. Eastern Time, OpenAI published a blog post that sent shockwaves through the tech industry and government circles. The headline was deceptively simple: providing ChatGPT to the entire U.S. federal workforce. But the details were anything but simple. OpenAI wasn't just offering a discount to government agencies. They were essentially giving away ChatGPT Enterprise, their most powerful business product, for free, $1 per agency per year. To put this in perspective, ChatGPT Enterprise normally costs $60 per user per month. For a typical federal agency with 1,000 employees, that would be $7.2 million per year. OpenAI was offering it for $1. The announcement landed like a digital bombshell in a city that runs on power, influence, and billion-dollar contracts. Within hours, government officials, tech executives, and policy experts were all asking the same question: what's the catch? But to understand why this moment was so significant, we need to go back and understand the chess game that led to this unprecedented move. Chapter 2. The Secret War for Government AI. The story actually begins in January 2025, when OpenAI quietly launched something called ChatGPT Gov. Most people missed this announcement entirely, but it was the opening move in what would become the most important AI battle of the decade. ChatGPT Gov wasn't just ChatGPT with a government logo slapped on it. It was a completely reimagined AI system designed from the ground up to meet the Byzantine security requirements of federal agencies. We're talking about compliance with frameworks that most people have never heard of, but that govern everything from nuclear secrets to tax records. The technical requirements alone read like a cybersecurity textbook: FedRAMP High certification, IL5 compliance for Defense Department systems, CJIS standards for criminal justice data, and ITAR controls for military technology. Each of these represents years of security audits, millions in compliance costs, and the kind of bureaucratic approval processes that have killed countless tech initiatives. But here's where the story gets interesting. While OpenAI was quietly building government-grade AI, their competitors weren't sleeping. Google had been courting federal agencies with Gemini. Anthropic was positioning Claude as the constitutional AI, perfect for a constitution-based government. Even Elon Musk's XAI was making noise about government contracts. The stage was set for a battle that would determine which AI company would become the digital backbone of the most powerful government on Earth. Then came July 14th, 2025. A date that should be remembered as the beginning of the AI contractor wars. The Department of Defense announced something unprecedented. They were awarding up to $200 million each to 4 AI companies: OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and XAI. This wasn't just a contract. It was a declaration that AI had become critical to national security. But even this massive DoD contract was just a warm-up for what was coming next. Chapter 3. The GSA Approval. The Keys to the Kingdom. August 5th, 2025, one day before OpenAI's shocking announcement. The General Services Administration made a decision that would change everything. They approved OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic as official AI vendors on something called the Multiple Award Schedule. Now, if you're not familiar with government contracting, the GSA's Multiple Award Schedule might sound boring, but it's actually one of the most powerful platforms in the federal procurement system. It's like being added to Amazon for government buyers, except the customers have virtually unlimited budgets and purchase billions in technology services every year. Getting on the GSA schedule normally takes years. Companies have to prove their technology works, their security is bulletproof, and their business practices meet federal standards. The GSA doesn't approve vendors lightly. They're essentially vouching for these companies to handle everything from nuclear security to social security records. But here's what made the timing so suspicious. OpenAI got GSA approval on August 5th and announced their $1 deal on August 6th. That's not a coincidence. That's a coordinated strategy. The GSA approval was the key that unlocked the federal marketplace. Without it, individual agencies would need to negotiate separate contracts with OpenAI, a process that typically takes 18 months. With GSA approval, any federal agency could start using ChatGPT Enterprise within days. OpenAI had just eliminated the biggest barrier to government AI adoption: procurement bureaucracy. And they were about to use that advantage to pull off the most audacious pricing strategy in tech history. Chapter 4. The $1 Strategy. Loss leader or master plan? Let's talk about that $1 price tag, because it's either the most generous offer in tech history or the most calculated business move ever made. ChatGPT Enterprise isn't cheap to run. Each query costs OpenAI real money in computing power, electricity, and infrastructure. For a typical federal agency with thousands of employees asking millions of questions, the actual cost to OpenAI could easily reach hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. So why would a for-profit company essentially give away their most expensive product? The answer lies in understanding what OpenAI really gained from this deal. First, they got something no amount of money can buy: exclusive access to how the federal government actually works. Every question federal employees ask ChatGPT, every document they analyze, every problem they try to solve, it all becomes data about government operations. Now, OpenAI has promised not to train their models on government data, but they're still learning invaluable lessons about government workflows, pain points, and use cases. This knowledge will be worth billions when they developed specialized AI products for government agencies. Second, OpenAI created the ultimate vendor lock-in. Once millions of federal employees start using ChatGPT in their daily work, switching to a competitor becomes almost impossible. It's like trying to get an organization to switch from Microsoft Office to Google Docs. The training costs and productivity losses make it prohibitively expensive. Third, and most importantly, OpenAI established themselves as the de facto AI partner of the U. When agencies need specialized AI solutions, custom models, or advanced features, who do you think they'll call? The company that already understands their systems, their security requirements, and their workflows. But perhaps the most brilliant aspect of the $1 strategy is the signal it sent to the private sector. If OpenAI is good enough for the federal government, if they can meet the most stringent security requirements in the world, then they must be the gold standard for AI. This government endorsement is worth more than any marketing campaign. The $1 price tag wasn't a discount. It was an investment in market domination. Chapter 5. Inside the Security Fortress, what ChatGPT Gov really is. To understand why this deal is so significant, you need to understand what ChatGPT Gov actually is, because it's unlike any AI system ever deployed. Imagine ChatGPT, but instead of running on OpenAI's servers in the cloud, it runs inside the government's own ultra-secure computer systems. We're talking about data centers with armed guards, biometric scanners, and security clearances that take years to obtain. ChatGPT Gov can be deployed in what's called Azure Government, Microsoft's special cloud infrastructure built specifically for classified government work. This isn't your typical cloud service. It's a parallel internet where every server, every network connection, and every piece of data is isolated from the commercial internet. The security requirements are mind-boggling. IL5 compliance means the system can handle controlled unclassified information, things like nuclear facility blueprints, or military logistics plans. CHIS certification means it can process criminal justice data, including FBI case files and background checks. ITAR compliance means it can work with defense technology that's literally classified as a weapon under UBICHES. But here's the truly remarkable part. ChatGPT Gov doesn't just meet these security requirements, it exceeds them. OpenAI built in features that government security officials had only dreamed of. The AI can process classified documents, generate reports with appropriate classification markings, and even refuse to answer questions that might compromise national security. For the first time in history, government employees can have a conversation with an AI that's actually smart enough and secure enough to help with their most sensitive work. Chapter 6. The Competition Scrambles. Google and Anthropic's response. When OpenAI announced their $1 deal, it created chaos in Silicon Valley. Google and Anthropic had spent months positioning themselves for government contracts, and overnight they found themselves outflanked by a pricing strategy no one saw coming. Google's response was swift but predictable. They started talking about the superior capabilities of Gemini and their deep integration with Google Workspace tools that many agencies already use. But talk doesn't compete with a 99.9% discount. Anthropic took a different approach, emphasizing Claude's constitutional AI design, the idea that their AI is inherently more ethical and aligned with democratic values. It's a compelling pitch for a government founded on constitutional principles, but it's hard to argue with free. Both companies found themselves in an impossible position. They couldn't match OpenAI's $1 pricing without losing massive amounts of money. But they also couldn't let OpenAI dominate the government market without a fight. The result has been a scramble to differentiate their offerings. Google is pushing specialized AI tools for specific government functions. Anthropic is emphasizing safety and alignment. But OpenAI has already won the most important battle, being first to market with a solution that works. Chapter 7. What's really at stake? The future of governance. This isn't just about AI companies competing for contracts. This is about the fundamental transformation of how government works in America. Right now, over 900 government employees across 3,500 agencies are already using ChatGPT to support their daily work. That number is about to explode to potentially millions of users across every federal department. Think about what this means. IRS agents will use AI to detect tax fraud. Patent examiners will use AI to search for prior art. Social Security administrators will use AI to process benefit claims. NASA engineers will use AI to analyze space mission data. We're witnessing the digitization of government decision-making. For the first time in human history, artificial intelligence will be a core component of how a major nation governs itself. But this transformation raises profound questions. When an AI helps an IRS agent decide whether to audit someone, who's really making that decision? When ChatGPT helps a patent examiner reject an application, is that human judgment or algorithmic enforcement? The efficiency gains could be enormous. Pennsylvania's pilot program found that employees using ChatGPT Enterprise saved over 100 minutes per day on routine tasks. Scaled across the entire federal workforce, that's equivalent to hiring hundreds of thousands of additional employees without any additional cost. But efficiency isn't the only consideration. We're also talking about concentration of power in the hands of a single AI company. OpenAI now has unprecedented insight into government operations, access to government workflows, and influence over government decisions. Chapter 8, The Billions Behind the Dollar. What OpenAI really wins. Let's be clear about what OpenAI actually gained from this $1 deal, because the real payoff isn't the subscription revenue. It's everything that comes after. First, market validation. OpenAI can now tell every Fortune 500 company that their AI is trusted by the U.S. government with national security secrets. That's the ultimate security certification and competitive advantage. Second, data insights. While OpenAI won't train on government data, they're learning invaluable lessons about enterprise AI usage at unprecedented scale. These insights will make their future product dramatically better. Third, vendor relationships. Once you're the AI provider for the federal government, you become the obvious choice for state governments, military contractors, and international allies. The total addressable market just grew from millions to potentially billions of users. Fourth, regulatory influence. When Congress holds hearings about AI regulation, which company do you think will be invited to testify as the expert on responsible AI deployment? The company that successfully secured the federal government's most sensitive data. The $1 deal wasn't an expense for OpenAI. It was the cheapest marketing campaign in corporate history. Powerful closing and final subscribe push. As we wrap up this incredible story, I want you to realize what you just witnessed. You didn't just learn about a government contract. You witnessed the moment when artificial intelligence became the invisible infrastructure of American government. Every tax return, every patent application, every social security claim, every defense contract, they'll all flow through OpenAI's systems. We've just seen the birth of the AI government complex, and most people don't even realize it happened. This is exactly why this channel exists. While everyone else reports on consumer AI apps and chatbot demos, we're uncovering the real power moves that will shape the next decade. The deals that happen in boardrooms and government offices, not app stores and tech conferences. If you want to understand how AI is really reshaping our world, if you want to see the moves before they make headlines, then subscribe right now. We're building a community of people who want to understand the real AI revolution, not just the marketing version. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join the conversation in the comments. Because the story of AI and government is just beginning, and you don't want to miss what happens next. The $1 deal was just the opening move. The real game is about to begin.